Welcome everybody to our show. This is Custom Fab Garage on our channel Octane TV on YouTube. Make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button, and on top of that make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you can get all the new content that comes out weekly and even every day. This is our next project, Dodge Ram SRT10. I think it's like an 0304. Super clean truck, so we're gonna be doing a full audio system in this. Okay, this is the inside of the Dodge Ram SRT10. Has the factory Infinity. This is the radio that's in it, the 6-disc changer with the silver bezel. We're going to be replacing all the speakers. So this is going to get all new speakers. It also has the factory Infinity sub back here, so this will be totally different when it's all done. So the factory radio, when you try to do this, the volume button doesn't even do anything. The factory radio is just crap, just junk. All right, we are going to take this whole bezel off, which basically there's a screw right here. You take that out, then you unsnap this piece here, and then you're gonna have basically two harnesses right here on the HVAC control. I don't know if I can get them all. There's one, there's two, and then you have both of the cigarette lighter. This one's a cigarette lighter port over here, and then this one's for the passenger side airbag. Okay, so basically that's what it looks like on the back side. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So we're gonna take that off. And then basically, here's your cigarette lighter plug, your 2 HVAC plugs, and then that one's for the airbag. Next up, we're going to take these 4 screws out for the radio. That way we can just remove the whole radio out. We've already taken part of the glove box out to do the amplifier bypass. We are going to be using this 70-6512 amp bypass for 02 to 04 Dodge Rams. It's made by METRA. This is the passenger side glove box. There's a big Infinity amplifier. Right there are the 2 plugs, and right there is the amplifier. So we've got to unplug those, which is a pain, and get those unplugged and plug those into the actual bypass harnesses. We went ahead and test taped most of this so that we could get it to look nice when we're running it to the back. It doesn't come like this, but we went ahead and did that anyways. Okay, so we're going to be using this harness, which is a 70-6510, because this particular unit has 2 plugs, not 1 plug. Supposedly supposed to have a telephone part on the mirror, but mine doesn't have that. But if you look in there, it's very hard to see because I'm trying to use this phone, but there's 1 plug, there's 2 plugs. Mine has 2 plugs. Most of the ones I've done only have 1 plug. So there's 1 plug, and then there's the second plug, and I've got those plugged into this harness. So that should have been a dead ringer instead of using the 1 plug style. But here's the extension harness. I'm going to test to tape that up, but this is definitely the one that we have to use in this. So if you got 2 plugs, definitely remember you're going to want to use this harness. a 706510. If you have one plug, I would definitely recommend using a 706512 because that's what we originally started out with, the one plug. But this one actually has two plugs, so definitely use that one. This is the stock 10.5 dash right here, which are going to convert over to this double den dash that he ordered in silver. So we're going to convert all that. First thing we're going to do is we have to take this, flip it over, and we have to drill out all these injection molding pieces to be able to fit the other piece on. So now we're taking the screws out of all these, since we've drilled out these injection moldings. Pull this off, and then we're going to push this through. That way we can get these pieces off, and then the silver part will come off, and then we'll put the new piece on. Well, this is all removed now, so lots of fun just to drill out some holes. Lovely. All the holes are drilled out. So now we can take this piece, put it on, and then we're going to re-drill all the pieces back in. Well, we've got it all in here. We screwed the screws that it came with these pieces so that it holds the double den in. The only problem is these are the pieces that pop through off this piece right here, but they didn't send any hardware with it, so I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with no screws. The METRA piece sends these little locking washers that screw down on here, but this one came with nothing, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that. Well, I mounted everything back in there. This is the only way I could do it, is by stacking a bunch of washers to get it to work, because they did not give us anything else to be able to use with this. So screw everything back in. It's all in there secure and tight. Looks really nice, fits really nice. The quality of it isn't quite as nice as METRA's, but looks pretty good. So there's some small imperfections I see, but nothing huge. So this is what it looks like afterwards. I'm not sure where he purchased this kit from. I'm guessing like Amazon or eBay or something, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but definitely you can tell, you know, when they made it, there's some little quality issues with the injection molding and things like that, and not sending any hardware, but that's what cheap companies do, man. They just try to save money. All right, we got the Sony installed. This was a nightmare, but I finally got it. I had to cut the back of the dash and back of these brackets that come on this stock to get this to fit in here. Thank God it's a DIN chassis behind it, but that was a nightmare, but it looks good when it's all put in. Looks actually really OEM and clean. We're gonna take this whole tray out of the back. The bolts have already been removed, so we're gonna take this all out so we can go ahead and do these rear speakers and run all of our wires up through here. All right, so we're attempting to remove these rear speakers. So we've taken this piece off right here so we can get to the bottom piece because they overlap each other. There's the clips on the back. Those are what those look like. You will first need to remove this big Torx out of the middle where the seat belt is right here. You'll want to take that out because if you can't, you won't be able to get it out. Now we're going to attempt to take this piece out. Okay, we've removed this panel, which you have to remove. All this unsnaps. It is not fun. Those are the worst ones to get to because those are hidden behind the other panel right there. So it is a pain in the butt, but then that gives us access to down here where we need for the speakers. So right here is where the speaker is at. We removed the rear speaker, just has 3 screws. Took that out, there's the plug. This last screw right here, there's one here, and then one here. This one's a butt, so you got to push this back to get to it. But we're gonna go ahead and start wiring up all this to put new speakers in. All right, we got the DD 5 1/4s installed in the rear. Looking really nice. Can't wait to see what they sound like. We got the rear speakers installed on both sides. Okay, we're gonna take the door panels off. There's a screw here. There was supposed to be a screw here, but it's been taken out. There's actually inside of there's a 10mm down in here. It's very hard to see, but it's like right here. There's a 10mm right there. You gotta take that out, take this off. Down underneath here, you have a screw here, and then you have another screw right there. So those are pretty much everything that you need to remove on the door panels to be able to get it out. And this is where the 10mm is back there. That connects into here. You want to just basically take that off. I would recommend using a ratchet versus using, I tried my drill first and then I used a ratchet because it's on there so tight that it's super hard to get off without a ratchet. So there's where the 10mm is. We've also removed all the screws out of the door panel as well. Once you remove all the screws out of it, you just pull up and that will basically pull the whole door panel up and then it comes off. You're gonna have to unplug these two plugs right here, okay? Well, this particular unit didn't have any speakers in it, and they cut the harness off, so that kind of sucks, but we'll figure it out one way or another. All right, we got this speaker installed. We ended up having to make a plastic trim ring to go around it because I've had problems with these in the past where they can ground out metal to metal without that plastic ring. It also doesn't fit in there right as a spacer. So we just went ahead and made one to duplicate the driver's side because this one did not have the spacer or a speaker harness. So we had to just kind of make that. So now we're gonna do the driver's side. All right, we got the driver's side on. We ended up using the factory adapter plate because it actually has it stock. The passenger side was missing the speaker and that. So everything's all mounted in there. These are the higher end Ddaudio 6x9s. Can't wait to hear what these things sound like. I've done hundreds of these trucks and they sound awesome. So can't wait to see what it sounds like. We went ahead and cleaned up all of our wiring, Tessa taped everything into here, made it all look really nice. That way it doesn't look like, you know, wires everywhere. Here's the adapter plates installed. Look a lot better when they're actually installed in. So here's the adapter plates finally installed in. Look like OEM. It's gonna sound really awesome with these DD-B1 tweeters. Here's the passenger one installed. Everything from the DD-B1 tweeters are installed into the front. They sound absolutely amazing. We got our bass knob installed right here underneath the dash for him to be able to control subwoofer. All right, we got our amplifiers all wired up and our subs over there. But everything is wired up, looking really nice. Now we're gonna start building our amp rack that goes back over here. amp rack all finished. Something to make it look a little more clean and classy versus just throwing the amps in there. Even though we spent a lot of time wiring them up, we wanted it to look nice. Truck all finished up. Got our amp rack back there, looking pretty clean. Just something a little extra, but really nice looking truck.